On the news, EFCC operatives lay siege to Okorocha's residence in Abuja. President Buhari urges closer bank cooperation to tackle West African challenges. And Central Bank of Nigeria raises interest rate to 13%, first time in over 5 years. We're glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have besieged the residence of Rochas Okorocha, former Imo State Governor. The operatives arrived at his residence in the Maitama area of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, to arrest him on Tuesday. The EFCC has accused the former governor of allegedly stealing public funds worth 2.9 billion naira. The operatives then barricaded Okorocha's house with family members inside, insisting that no one is allowed to leave until the senator is produced or that he honors a long-standing invitation. Reacting to the development, Okorocha condemned the actions of the team that came to arrest him and vowed to remain indoors until he sees a warrant of arrest. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on executives of banking institutions in West Africa to forge a closer collaboration to tackle the economic challenges confronting the sub-region. The president made the call when he received a delegation from the West African Bankers Association, WABA, led by its president, Thieno Seydou Nourou, at the State House. President Buhari added that the sub-region must find a common understanding and ground to address low access to financial services and recovery from the post-COVID-19 pandemic. President Buhari, however, expressed confidence that the rollout of the African Continental Free Trade Area would be a turning point in how African countries trade with each other. President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has assured the judiciary that the National Assembly is determined to provide every support to enable it to discharge its mandate. Lawan, who spoke at a capacity-building workshop for judges and justices organized by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in collaboration with the National Judicial Institute, said the National Assembly had been at the forefront in the fight against corruption in the country.
Let me assure the judicial arm of government that we are determined to give every possible support to ensure that you have the wherewithal to discharge your mandate. And I'm taking the opportunity here to charge the Attorney General of the Federation, my friend, my brother, that let's make 2023 appropriation a year for the judiciary in Nigeria. Always remember. Give them proposed skills from the executive arm of government. I will also complement and make it even more. But whether there is anything from the executive or not, I want to make this promise here that we are going to make your budget better than 2022 and probably better than at any other time in 2023.
Earlier in his remarks, Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawa, expressed concerns over corruption cases being lost to technicalities at various levels of courts in the country, stressing that such a development may serve as a disincentive to the fight against economic and financial crimes.
The forces that we are battling are powerful, and some of them will want to use the judiciary to distract and help us. If and when they come to you, please allow your conscience and overriding national interest to be your guide. While I commend the efforts of the chief judges of some states who have designated courts and judges to hear economic and financial crimes cases in line with Section 19, Subsection 3 of the EFCC Act 2004, I will call on those who are yet to do so to follow suit. This measure, together with expeditious assignment of cases filed by the Commission to designated courts as well as appointments of new judges, will ensure accelerated hearing of our cases. All these, when balanced with respect of constitutional rights of suspects, will make the anti-corruption initiatives functional and more fruitful. On the part of the EFCC, we are not unaware of the fact that we may not achieve 100% perfection. However, my Lord, it may interest you to know that in the past 1 year, the EFCC has made deliberate efforts and taken major steps to reform its processes and procedures, which led to the launching of our SOPs and policy documents by Mr. President on the 25th of March 2022.
Chairman Senate Committee on Health, Senator Ibrahim Oloriegbe, has urged Nigerians to vote him and his counterpart, Tanko Sununu, into the House of Representatives at the 10th Assembly so as to ensure strict implementation of the National Health Insurance Authority Act. Speaking to journalists during a press briefing at the Assembly, Oloriegbe assured that the passion deployed in seeing to the passage of the bill and assent by President Buhari will be deployed into its strict implementation through effective oversight. He explained that the Act has provided opportunity for all Nigerians to have health insurance. Oloriegbe, however, lamented the problem of human resource in the country's health sector, which he said can only be tackled if healthcare providers are given special remuneration packages different from the core public service model.
The health of this country will change for the best. I'm not talking for the better if we implement this bill very well. The key major challenge of the health system now is financing. We talk about, and it is addressing financing in a very critical way. It's not about just pumping the money. But this one will address the issue of demand. And as in one way, it will address supply. Demand means that if every Nigerian have an insurance card, that card is backed up with certain funding. It creates multiple other works. It's not only about the healthcare, because the bill also have ICT. Big ICT, because of course you can't talk of insurance without, currently already we have started since last year budget to fund the authority, the Nigerian authority, to establish a massive ICT technology. And even the bill now says every state, every private sector that wants to establish insurance must invest on ICT. So you can imagine the job that will create. Now, in the healthcare industry itself, the pharmaceuticals, with insurance, pharmaceutical industries thrive better because there's certainty. Then there's quality. You don't just go and buy anything, because insurance, anybody that wants to have, if insurance will contract a healthcare provider, they monitor to say these are the drugs you should use, and they do from time to time sampling. So you can imagine the economic benefit in terms of job creation, in terms of economy.
House of Representatives aspirant for Alimosho Federal Constituency, Idris Balogun, has cleared allegations that is not a secondary school leaving certificate holder, a minimum requirement for anyone aspiring for an elective position in Nigeria. At a press conference in Lagos, some of the aspirant secondary school teachers in Alimosho area of Lagos State attested that Balogun, an APC chieftain, attended Egon Grammar School in Alimosho. Speaking on behalf of the teachers, Balogun's former basic science teacher, Olowoyo Kayode, said the allegation was not only false, but a plot to tarnish Balogun's image in order to score a cheap political goal.
There was a story published in one of the Nigerian newspapers that Honorable Idris Balogun did not attend the secondary school, that they don't have a school cert. So we're here to debunk and to tell our good people of Alimosho to disregard that story, because it was a fabricated story. Idris Oloma Kafata attended Egan Grammar School from 1995 to 2001.
I can tell you emphatically that when I joined the service and I was posted to Egon Grammar School as a first teacher in 1999, I met Idris Balogun. And since then, before I left the school, there is no student in that school that doesn't know me. As I'm speaking to the press now, I am very sure that people will say, yes, these are the right people that can really confirm. There is no student that passes through me you understand, in that school that doesn't know me. Either I met you there or you met me in that school before I was transferred. Because we are in charge of the discipline and other things in that school. So we are many like that. Ajufo is here and many of those. I can confirm that Idris Olomo is a popular person in the school. He's a popular person among his mates in the school. But categorically, what we want to establish is that what he was admitted to that school legally because I met him there, and I taught him government, SS1, SS2, and SS3.
In December last year, December 2021, I met a boy. His name is Rashid Afolabi. That Rashid Afolabi told me that they are having association, old student association, but they couldn't call Oluomo because he was having a meeting that very day. So to show you that he has some mates that can even testify that he wrote exam WAEC. He started with them and he finished in year 2001.
While a typical teenager juggles school, sports and socializing with varying degrees of success, a 16-year-old Nigerian teenager has got more in common with venture capitalists and complex algorithms than guidance and counselors and algebra. John Oseni is a self-taught web developer and computer programmer who boldly writes programming languages and helps startups with cybersecurity. Our correspondent Abisola Adebayo has the details in this report.
With his long strides and youthful look, John Oseni looks like every ordinary Nigerian teenager, but is anything but ordinary. The 16-year-old secondary school graduate is a tech tycoon. He ventured into coding and web development when he was 14 years old. Soon enough, he became a genius at what he does. By the time he was 15 years old, he helped his school create its website. Oseni says his journey was a completely alien experience for his family, but they soon adjusted to reality.
When I actually got started, then my parents were like, my character changed because John of then that like I used to be fully active in the arts, but sometimes I spend time mostly with my computer. Anytime we have time to talk, I kept on telling them that please, I'm solving the web problem, I'm solving problems for people, making the world more a better place, making everything unique for everyone. And when they actually started seeing that, they were not happy with me. But when they started seeing results, the old stuff were now everybody were becoming happy and making it more unique and sweeter.
Oseni says his biggest inspiration is Elon Musk, the billionaire tech entrepreneur and business magnate, which is why he tailors his activities like Musk's. He says he will not relent on his urge until he becomes Nigeria's Elon Musk.
Before you can actually create a product, you have to have a formula of what you're doing. So you alter formula to create new things that nobody has ever thought of. So more like me, I work a lot with chemicals and formulas. I work with physics. Everyone has been trying to say, okay, John Oseni is the next Nigerian Elon Musk. Yeah, by God's grace, that IQ and uniqueness will be there. For me to have started in the pace of almost a year or like 1.5 years or something, and I've gotten here, it's all grace.
With his skills, Oseni has now helped several startups in the city of Akure, southwest Nigeria, with software development and cybersecurity. He's also started a tech company, which is optimistic will take the world by storm by the time it launches.
I believe so much in my company. I believe so much. I see the vision of what I'm doing. I see the vision of everything that is coming up. So I'll say 5 months to 8 months or before the end of this year, by God's grace, we should have been established and all. So it's more like that, and I just gave a hint and all, so that's more about it.
The young teenager says he aims to create IT solutions for social problems that affect people not just in Africa, but in developing and developed countries across the world. Abisola Adebayo, TV360 News.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Nigeria receives 4 million doses of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine from Spain. Details of the story and more right after this break.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, Can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the president of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have besieged the residence of Rochas Okorocha, former Imo State Governor. EFCC has accused the former governor of allegedly stealing public funds worth 2.9 billion naira. We also told you that President Muhammadu Buhari has called on executives of banking institutions in West Africa to fetch a closer collaboration to tackle the economic challenges confronting the sub-region. President Buhari, who made the call when he received a delegation from the West African Bankers Association, WABA, added that the sub-region must find a common understanding and ground to address low access to financial services and recovery from the post-COVID-19 pandemic. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Nigeria has received over 4 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine from Spain. The delivery is part of Spain's commitment to supporting developing countries in ramping up vaccination against COVID-19. Receiving the donation on behalf of the Nigerian government, the executive director of the NPHCDA, Faisal Shoaib, appreciated the Spanish government for the donation, noting that the gesture came at a time it is most needed. Argentine President Alberto Fernandez has made a large donation as part of a deal to end an investigation into a lockdown party he and his wife hosted. The couple came under investigation after photos emerged showing them having a birthday dinner attended by about a dozen people while lockdown measures were in force. At the time, public gatherings, including funerals, were banned. The photos caused outrage and caused the president's popularity to plummet. A judge agreed to the offer by the President and First Lady to donate $25,000 in exchange for the case against them to be dropped. Well, we'll take a breather here and return with more stories and business. To stay with us. Welcome back. Abisola Adebayo joins us now for more stories in business. Over to you, Abisola.
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has voted to raise the monetary policy rate, which measures interest rate to 13% to tame rising inflation. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele made this known on Tuesday while briefing journalists at the end of the committee's meeting at the Apex Bank's headquarters in Abuja. Emefiele explained that 6 out of 11 committee members voted to raise the key rate. The Apex Bank governor also added that the global outlook remains clouded with uncertainties over the Russian-Ukraine war as well as the COVID-19 pandemic.
MPC voted to 1. Raise MPR to 13%, 2. Retain asymmetric corridor of plus 100 and minus 700 basis points around the MPR, retained the CRR at 27%, but also urged the management to continue to use its discretionary powers to mop up liquidity where they find it, to ensure that we maintain a very tight monetary liquidity in the system. And 4, retain liquidity ratio at 30%.
Well, to shed more light on this, I had a chat with Paul Alaje, who is an economist. I began by asking him what he makes of the decision of the MPC to increase the interest rate to 13%.
The interest rate has just been increased of 150 basis points from 11.5 to 13%, as read out by the Central Bank of Nigeria. A lot of implications. My submission has been choosing between the devil and the deep blue sea. A tough option, which of course we may be expecting a tougher economic decision. It is expected that in the meantime, we are expecting inflation to remain the same, even though that would be very difficult to curtail in the medium term. Inflation is expected to grow, but maybe at a slower rate, other than the major jump we saw in April's report. However, now that the interest rate has been increased, we're expecting the next quarter report in terms of GDP not to be as improved as we have seen now, because you cannot you cannot eat your cake and have it. Economic have tough decisions. Sometimes we call them trade-off. If you want if you want inflation to reduce, you may not be able to achieve growth policy at the same time. So we're expecting that we might see reduced growth or a slower growth or growth increase at a slower rate, whichever the case may be, in the next quarter report. That's on one hand. On the second hand, this may have tremendous impact on unemployment. What we expect to see is convergence of policy by trade authority, fiscal authority, as well as monetary authority. Rather than seeing some of this activity, what we have seen in most of the time is effort of Central Bank of Nigeria and that of Monetary Policy Committee to see how they can slow negative economic impact. Those that should lead economic prosperity, which is coming from fiscal and trade, little is coming from their end. And I hope that for Central Bank to achieve some of the set goals, it's important for this authority to find a way of converging in terms of good policy with other sister agencies or other agencies of government.
The Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Segun Ajayi Kadiri, has called on manufacturers in the country to take advantage of the value chain in beekeeping and bee farming, saying Nigeria has the highest concentration of bees in Africa. He made the call at the sensitization workshop for beekeeping by the Raw Materials and Research and Development Council on Monday. Ajayi explained that products of beekeeping have an economic impact on beverage and foods, pharmaceuticals, and cosmetics. On his part, the Dean of Faculty of Agriculture at the University of Abuja, Professor Hakeem Oyenride, called for drastic change in the campaign for beekeeping practice across the country.
In the whole of Africa, you have the highest concentration of bees in Nigeria, which gives us a comparative advantage in terms of our capacity to source the basic raw material for us to use. So we'll be encouraged by the availability of honey in Nigeria, of bees and consequently honeys in Nigeria. And because man has more than 2,500 members, government policies will continue to be inadequate, but in spite of that, manufacturers have to be resilient, and we still create jobs.
The potential is not the potential that is available to us. We are just not harvesting it, and we have the forest, we have plantations. We don't even need the forest per se, but we can establish plantations, orange plantations, mango plantations, cashew plantations, moringa plantations, oil palm plantations. As long as we have trees, you can produce honey, and as long as we have beehives, you can produce propolis, royal jelly, and bee venom.
We have majorly most of our products being organic products, whether it's propolis, whether it's pollen, whether it's royal jelly, whether it's venom, or all the bee products that we have in Nigeria as of today are organic and can access any market in the world. The major problem we are having in accessing the global market has been the absence of a national certification laboratory for the bee product. I know we have the certification group, SON, NAFDAC, and a host of other, but the government have not consciously established a national certification laboratory that will have ISO standard, that we have ISO certification for all the requirements for gaining into the global market.
Well, we'll take a break now and return with a review of the stock market. The Nigerian equities market continued its bearish trend during trading today, with the all-share index dropping deeper from Monday's close to 51,949 basis points. Market capitalization followed suit in the direction of the ASI to stand at 28 trillion naira, representing a decrease of 1.82%. Guinness led the stocks that drove the market's new loss. After several hours of bargain hunting by investors, the energy giant share price decreased by 9 naira 80 kobo at the close of trading. Subsequently, oil and gas firm Global Spectrum Energy Services PLC also maintained appearance on the losers list after losing 30 kobo today. On the flip side, oil and gas stocks became the toast of investors. J-Paul Gold and Industrial and Medical Gases Nigeria PLC led the gainers list today, as they both recorded a combined 93 kobo gains. Moving on to our market summary, sees a total volume of 721 million units of shares valued at 8 billion naira, exchanging hands in 6,096 deals. Moving on to the foreign scene, to selected stocks on the foreign scene rather, the FTSE ended mostly lower on Tuesday, dipping back below 7,500 after a rebound on Monday, with an afternoon rally smoothed by a poor performance on Wall Street as tech stocks took another kicking. The Dow Jones also fell on Tuesday as investors returned to dumping stocks on fears of a recession following a brief sell-off reprieve. That's all on stock market report. Back to Folashade for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Abisola, for that update on the foreign scene. German's Chancellor Olaf Scholz has questioned South Africa's neutral stance about the war in Ukraine. Scholz raised the question at a meeting with his South African counterpart Cyril Ramaphosa on the last leg of a three-nation visit to Africa. In response, President Ramaphosa said it was only through negotiation and dialogue that a resolution could be reached, while Chancellor Scholz said he understood that different countries had different views. He called Russia the aggressor in a brutal war. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
The 15th Headies Awards have arrived. On May 24, 2022, the Academy announced the nominations for this year's event. Grammy Award-winning Beninese singer Angelique Kidjo is the recipient of the Headies Hall of Fame in its 2022 edition. According to the organizers, the Hall of Fame special recognition is given to an individual of African descent who has made excellent and outstanding impact to the African entertainment industry home and abroad. New categories which have been introduced include Music Executive of the Year, Best Afrobeat Pop Single Nigeria, Best Afrobeat Pop Album Nigeria, Best African Collaboration, Best International Collaboration, African Artist of the Year, and International Artist of the Year. Popular veteran actress Eucharia Anunobi has announced that she's currently in need of a husband. The actress made the announcement during an interview with BBC Igbo, stressing that she urgently needs a man to put a ring on her finger. As for specs, the 56-year-old actress says she hopes to get married to a man who has what it takes to be a husband. The actress was married to Charles Eku in the early 2000s. The union, however, crashed in 2009. And that's all we have on the entertainment segment of News Now.
away from entertainment now to sports. The Sports Ministry has appointed an interim management committee to oversee Nigerian basketball following a 2-year ban on international basketball. On Monday, Minister of Sports Sunday Dare, through a statement signed by its Director of Press Relations, Mohammed Manga, confirmed that the committee had been set up. He added that the withdrawal was part of the government's efforts to revamp the sport from the grassroots, as well as put an end to the crisis that had rocked the NBBF. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.